in order to try to solve the problem. I think
your plan to protect people from having their memories tampered with by extra-normal entities is to encase their heads in aluminum foil.
Well, it's not foil, it's a sturdy sheet.
Tin foil, then.
I guarantee you it'll do something. I just haven't had a real chance to test it yet. Unless you know someone capable of some hypnotic art or the other of wiping people's minds.
So it's a helmet and you just put it on.
That's right. As soon as Vril is poured into it, it should activate. And he'll take one of the bottles and pour in just like a little bit. And you can see the helmet vibrate. And it makes sort of a rattling noise. Just as intended.
It's not what I was expecting. Not what I was expecting. Did you tighten all the screws?
Tighten? Oh, I just, And he tries to point out the weld mark. I just did a little bit of work.
They let you use the welder?
I mean, well, they weren't looking.
Didn't tell them to not let you use the welder. I didn't realize you were this talented. Okay, so how long do you think this is going to last?
Well, I think a bottle of it, or at least one of these whole ones, perhaps a whole day, but, with the amount poured in, if you fill this up to the top, probably about an hour. So you'll have to refill it throughout the day.
Okay. This looks great. I need you to take this glue, this lace, and this hat.
Very nice hat.
Yes, it's a black hat. I need you to take this helmet and cover it up with the hat and the lace so it looks more like a scary mask.
Ooh, oh, that I can do. That I can do.
All right, let's get you. You've done great work here. Gray, why don't you, get some rests? Well, let's get you out on the town.
Right now, when I could do things. Well, I suppose I could take a short break.
You don't want to work yourself too hard.
But you could look fantastic
you come with me?
Right now. Oh.
I know all these places that serve wine for free.
And he'll stroke his chin a little bit. You know, that does sound very good about now. I'll need to wash up first, of course. I have to be presentable.
Of course. In fact, I'll take you to my parents' men's club. You'll get freshened up there.
Excellent. And he's willing to accompany you.
I'm going to keep him busy for the day. That's what I'm going to do.
All right, that's simple enough. And you travel through well-to-do circles enough. No one's really going to ask questions or anything.
Yeah, like the gentleman's club was a thing back. Yeah, they didn't have a lot of gymnasiums and stuff. Like, the gentleman's club everybody thinks of, where they have like the walls and the cigars and that kind of stuff. They would also have a spa and a bathhouse on the premises, which of course I can't use.
Of course, it's a fantastic resort for the wealthy, really.
It has privileges.
Indeed. So you basically go out and enjoy your day after sort of glancing by the meetings previously.
Well, and of course, take off the dressings. I think my wound is healed satisfactorily. Curse those fraternity people.
It looks like it'll be a nice, terrible scar. Better cover it up in the future.
Oh, blast. Like I said, I'm turning into Batman, where it's, Batman, look at all my horrible scars. I don't see any scars. Right here, on my back, where no one can see them.
Underneath the other injuries.
All the injuries I've ever suffered, they're only on my back and easy to cover up places.
All right, so Claudia, you've been taken care of for the day. Let's pop over to, it seems like Zechariah and Edmund are very excited to do their ideas. Zechariah and Edmund, it looks like you are driving past, being suspicious and seeing what the evidence is. Why don't you give me a mind, observation, and evasion roll? Cody, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yep. You heard what I said?
Yep, I gotta get all the dice. There's quite a few.
All right. One, two.
He said mind, observation, and evasion, right?
Yes. So 2 successes. And 5s. Okay. And I'm just gonna go ahead and boop. All right. As you let Zechariah go and start driving by the fraternity house, you can definitely see that there's some burn damage to the exterior. It seems like it got put out in time. The pieces of the dresser are still out scattered on the lawn. Uh, and you actually see a couple of the fraternity members sort of at work, actually busy trying to repair some of the damage. And as you drive by, one of them sort of turns and faces you and kind of squints in your direction before you drive off.
Sorry for all the dice, but that's who you wanted.
Oh, that was Zechariah rolling. I thought that was your roll. My bad. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Okay. So yeah. So Zechariah, you're Edmund. You're driving off. What are you planning to do for today?
Well, my first thought wanted to see how guarded the place is, if they're like any beefed up, or are there people like this waiting? Like anything like that going on in the fraternity for right?
It doesn't appear like they've militarized or anything. No. Still looks like a bunch of frat kids busy at work.
Gotcha, gotcha. With me doing better at the newspaper place, am I more freelance now? Am I still on deck duty
You've
or
always been kind of freelance under contract.
gotcha?
So whatever you bring in can get you more money, and the money you have might eventually evaporate.
Right enough. Anything on the docket that I could try to smooth over to get some more?
Oh, you're gonna basically try to get a story, or
Right,
have
yeah.
someone suggest one. If you go back to the main office, the people up front are gonna go like, we gotta cover this general strike. We gotta go to each and every one, and we just don't have enough reporters. We gotta hit up every workplace and see what's happening. It, Someone could just start shooting for all we know, or throw a firebomb. We gotta be there to cover it. Uh, oh, there you are, Edmund. Edmund, wonderful, not dangerous at all idea. Would you like to go out there and cover this?
Out of character, any of these places have anything to do with our little thing we're doing, or are they all just random?
Most of them appear to be just workplaces around town. You do remember the people died while you were in the building.
True. Oh, this is what they're talking about. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
from the
totally
fire.
oh yes, I'm gonna totally help with that. Sure.
Okay. So you can go ahead and do some investigative reporting. Let's see just how good you are at your job today. How are you going to tackle this?
Probably past knowledge of what happens since I was there, I believe. Or was this when I wasn't here and they did and I couldn't make the session? That's the one you're talking about? Right.
You were there. This was the tower fire with the
Oh, okay.
robots.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha. I thought it was the other one. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just gonna go from prior knowledge, past pictures I have of what happened and everything, and see if I can find that guy that helped me out. The one with the money and stuff. See if I can interview him.
Uh, which person is that exactly? Do you mean
The
Patrick
Rhino.
Walls?
No, no, the Rhino bodyguard.
Oh, uh, y- you were chasing him out of a building before, if you recall.
No, I was chasing the bad guys out. Remember?
Yes, yes, the Rhino bodyguards were part of the bad guys here.
Oh, I thought
But
he
but
helped
the
me.
but the Rhino industrialist is Patrick Walls.
Oh, okay, yeah. I just remember Rhino helped me with when the robot was attacking me, like to get him off of me. I wanted to talk.
I don't remember that in particular. But at this point, it may be very difficult to find that person again.
Fair enough.
Uh, but yeah. So what are you doing for a story here?
Yeah, I'm just gonna recycle what information I have. See if there's any other people I could talk to, like any of the people that saw me leave pants.
Oh, you're basically trying to cover a story that's already been covered then.
Right.
You already did that story just last week on Friday.
Exactly. So I'm just gonna try to reskirt it basically.
What angle are you putting on this? What new information are you adding to this? Or is this just an editorial piece you're writing up for fun?
Just for fun. For right now, it's like more the reaction than just like paper or just business. You know what I mean? Like how
Mhm.
do people feel, what happened, and how are people coping during the aftermath? You know, all that.
Okay, so would you maybe want to go do interviews then?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, well, as it would turn out at this time, if you look up these individuals, it might be very difficult to get into contact with them, given they might be dealing with a general strike right now. So you can try to get into contact with them, but my question is, how are you going to do that? What do you have that would allow you to contact rich industrialists about the attempted murders that they underwent while they are currently in the midst of dealing with strikes?
The only person that I could think of is our Fox friend that I keep forgetting the name of. I'm so sorry. Wanda, I believe, right?
Claudia, you
Claudia.
mean?
God. Yeah, see, Claudia could help me with that.
Claudia, you while you're out and about, you do receive a message that a reporter is looking to interview you about the events of a fire taking place last week.
Oh crud! Did they say who they were?
Yes.
Yes, indeed, a reporter named Edmund.
Yeah, I know Edmund. I'm gonna have to call Edmund back and say, "Hey, Edmund, I have to decline it this time. I don't want my name associated with these events." Also, I wasn't there.
I'll be sure to give the Herald Examiner just that message then, and be sure it's relayed along.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Edmund knows that we had fake names on the invitations.
Nope, I did not even look.
Yep.
Well,
So
actually,
Edmund,
your name was legit because you were a reporter. I
Right.
wasn't there. I'll just call him back to say I wasn't there.
yeah. So Edmund, you of course get back a response maybe after an hour while you're in the midst of just like writing fluff around your editorial that Miss Claudia is not ready for an interview, nor will she be in the future,
Okay, then with that information, I'm going to be like,
and had
with
nothing to do
how,
with the fire either.
of course, yeah, then I'm going to go with how distraught everybody is right now and unable to comment and just, well wishes to those that were in the fire, all that fluff.
Okay. So are you so for this, when you're trying to like evoke what people's mood is right now, are you going to
Right.
make it up or are you going to go get some actual quotes out there?
Well, like I said, since I can't get any quotes, I'm just going to say
Mhm.
like people are like so distraught, so emotional over it, everything, they go for that emotional, tear.
Okay. So let's go ahead and write your fluff editorial piece building off of people's sympathy.
Yeah,
Let's go ahead and call it Mind Craft. You can add deceit into it because you're literally making some yellow press here. Uh, and if you have a writing specialty.
sure.
I believe your journalist career has craft for this purpose, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay, good. So everything works out fine.
Again, sorry for taking so long. I have so many dice.
It's all good. So you're just writing over
There we
bits and
go.
pieces. There you go. Hey, there's a good 9 in there, and that is 3 successes. You're, of course, a professional writer at this point. You know what words to say. You can basically invent an entire piece without any facts in it whatsoever. And this is entirely just meant to evoke a mood in the reader of sympathy to those who have died. And when it comes up to the editor will actually take a look at it and go, "Huh, I think I can print this. I'll need to edit it a little bit first, if you don't mind. But I think this is exactly what I want to show up in the evening edition right now.
Of
Uh,
course, of
we'll
course.
we'll give you your $10 for this little fluff piece, and we'll call it even there. Uh, but Edmund, stay sitting for a minute. I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Uh, just today, shortly after you came into the office, we actually received a complaint that that a company car was actually spotted outside of the fraternity house, the Zeta Alpha Phi one, over by Chicago University. You read that one, right? You read all the editions, don't you?
Of course, of course.
Good. Uh, and I can't help but wonder, because they said a few things that sounded very interesting. You didn't have anything to do with this event, did you?
May I
This
ask
isn't
what
going to
they
reflect
say?
badly on the company, is it?
No, sir. What did they say? I'm just curious.
Well, they seem to think that the driver of the car looked very similar to their suspect, and I can't help but notice that as we publish bits of the police report here, a red male newt covered in dirt, and he looks you up and down a little bit. Uh, so I have to ask, you're not involved in any of this, are you?
I'm just gonna look down at me, look at my arms, my hands. Huh. I don't see that much dirt to you.
Why don't you go ahead and roll me a will deceit?
I mean, am I dirty? That's a good question.
You went spelunking yesterday,
I'm just saying, from what
and
do
you
you
haven't
think?
really had a chance to wash your suit either.
Right now, if I do just have the one suit.
All right, so how about you give me that will deceit?
Sure.
I'm gonna roll their attempt to question you.
And will correct? Will deceive?
Correct. You're trying to keep a straight face. You're trying not to give anything away. You're not involved there, and he sort of looks at you and kind of nods slowly. Look, Edmund, I want to recommend you take this $10 and you go see a dry cleaner today.
Of course, sir. Of course.
And as always, stay out of trouble, all right?
Uh, I
If the
gotta
police
get to.
actually come up, I won't be able to stop them from walking in.
That's fair, sir. And
Uh,
he totally noticed I skirt around keeping safe.
yes. So, you have your little piece, you have your $10, and of course, orders to go get clean.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm not sure how long that takes, but I still have that little ticket for the college, the meal ticket.
Yes, you do.
I think I'm gonna get a meal.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put that a little bit on hold, and we'll come
Of
back to
course.
that in a bit. I'm going to put you over here in the streets, and we're actually near Trucoga University. Now, I'm going to ask her real quick. Zechariah, you're going to classes, aren't you?
Yeah, he's probably gonna stop at the dorms real quick and change into some cleaner clothing first. But yeah, once he gets himself a little bit freshened up, he's gonna get a class.
Of course, of course. You cleaned up a little bit, but being a dirty freshman, no one would notice you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this is one of the days where you have your a biology class by Nicholas East, and he usually doesn't really care a whole lot, and he's very strict, but he seems like he's not in a good mood today. He doesn't have that same energy of hating every single undergraduate here who doesn't pay attention. Seems distracted.
Hmm.
And of course, when he walks past you as he's like handing out a quiz, he just sort of, gives you a little nod and continues on. But other than that, the rest of this day actually seems to go pretty normal for you. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. You can even go get lunch at the local campus diner,
Yeah, might as well.
the campus corner. And of course, you walk straight in, and of all things, you see Edmund trying to cash in the meal ticket.
Zek's just kind of gonna roll his eyes.
And you, of course, pull out yours.
Yeah.
There we go. Plunge number 4. Just 2 more, and you get a free meal. Oh, you gotta try the chicken soup today. It's delicious. Here you go.
All right. Well, Zek will take a seat with his meal and possibly pretend not to know Edmund.
And Edmund, what are you going to do?
How far is he sitting away from me?
He's looks like he's marched straight across the entire diner to be in a corner.
I'm still a little bit upset with him about the events of the other day.
I'm going to like have I guess the tray we will have. I assume. I'm gonna go probably 2 like seats away from him, and sit there facing him and start my meal. For right now, engage with.
You two stare at each other across a couple tables, and while you're there eating, you actually spot someone else coming in for lunch. And it looks like a large bull in a fraternity jacket. And he huffs up onto the counter and goes, I'm gonna have 3 of the sandwiches, and he starts ordering and ordering. Doesn't seem like he's noticed you, but Edmund, you'd very distinctly recognize him.
I'm going to look at Zechariah like dead in his eyes and motion over to the bull, like with my hey, they told.
Zek's kind of looking between the two of them. He's not going to do anything quite yet, though. As far as he knows, nobody spotted him the other day, so.
Right. So neither of you take any special precaution or anything.
No, I'm casually eating my meal. I'm innocent.
And he just sits down and he's looking straight in your direction as 2 more fraternity members sit down in front of him and they all start eating together. And throughout the entire meal, he's looking straight in your direction, but he's looking straight past you or only at his friends and doesn't even seem to recognize either of you two.
Well, from my vague knowledge of what I know what Zechariah can do, I'm gonna raise my eyebrow at him and like motion to him like, did you do that? Like him not noticing me because he's clearly looking at me through me like.
Zek's gonna kind of throw up his brows and shrug lightly because he's not doing anything.
Uh,
He's
so-
he's like, he can't hide people with his powers. He can make shit fly around
Right.
and cause a scene, but
I'm not sure if you could like erase memories or any of that stuff. I have no idea what you could do. You didn't have that check yet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, since that happened, I'm going to see if I can hear what they're talking about. Anything in particular, just drop.
You can go ahead and eavesdrop. I'm gonna go ahead and call this, of course, mind evasion, and observation.
Sure.
And I'm gonna go ahead and check some numbers here and see how well they might do against that.
So do you want Zek to roll for that as well, or?
Are you gonna try listening in too?
Yeah, it's like the Zetas are still people of interest in the case of his brother's death. So
Well, okay then. So go ahead and give me a roll too. You can roll the same. Mind, evasion, and observation. All right, that is one success in there.
Again, sorry for all the noise.
All right.
observation as well.
Yeah, go ahead and pop that. Let's see what you get. 5. Okay. So from a distance, Zechariah, it's sort of hard to pick up on what they're saying, but it definitely sounds like they're making some kind of plan. Um, but Edmund, you're much closer, and you get kind of more details for it. And as they wolf down their sandwiches, you of course pick up on every terrifying noise they make as they eat, being college students and fraternity members. Uh, and you get the impression that they're uh trying to set up something tonight. It's like, oh yeah, you're gonna need to take a couple guys and go over here and is- they have us running all over the place. It's a little bit bullshit, especially tonight. I was hoping I could get some actual football practice today. Team's not gonna like just hold itself down without me. I'm important. And of course, his friends are just nodding. It's like, yeah, yeah, you're real important, boss. They can't just treat you like this. Without you, without everyone hanging on to you, I bet they wouldn't know what to do. It's all on you.
So no particular names are dropped, like locations or anything, just broad.
No, in fact, you get the impression that despite sort of speaking a little bit freely of this, they're trying to be tight-lipped about it.
Wow, I'm impressed. So the bull, does he or the rhino? I'm not sure the race. I'm sorry. Does he
Uh,
recognize me, or is he just doesn't notice?
no, the bull's like staring straight past you still. He just like sees like some trench coat blob in front of him and just like doesn't even blink.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So he's not even thinking about it, and you're also facing away from him too.
Fair enough. I guess with that information, I'm going to get up and go over to sit with Zach.
Zach's gonna kind of not look up at you, and be like, He's gonna kind of like whisper under his breath as like, "You are extremely lucky. None of them recognized you." It's like I would be avoiding campus if I were you.
So the guy on campus.
It's close to campus.
Fair, fair. I'll go let him know what I heard and ask if he knows anything that's going on. Like there's some sort of hazy thing or there's something important.
It's like I'm not a member of the fraternity. I don't really know what they do in their spare time.
Word of mouth. You kids are these days.
I mean, I don't think like out of character. I don't think Zechariah would really have any insider knowledge of that. Yeah.
That's fair. Like I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just reporting. I asked him if he has any homework or would like to go on a little scouting.
It's like you want to go back there after what happened last night.
I'm curious to see what they're doing. Aren't you?
It's like I'm curious, but I'm also trying not to draw attention to myself. It's like the only reason I've managed to keep myself safe thus far is because no one has seen me and knows what I'm capable of.
Oh, so you didn't like erase his mind or whatever? He just doesn't know who I am or not picking up.
It's
He's not
like
paying attention.
it's like I'm pretty sure he's more invested in his meal.
Okay. I don't know what you could do. We haven't talked about that.
And Zuck's kind of gonna give a wry smirk and be like, "It's like I could go into detail, but I don't think you'd believe me."
I saw you move a glass and after what I saw that armadillo doing, I think I can believe anything at this point.
It's like fair, but I don't want to talk about it here where somebody could overhear us.
We're in a college place. Do you think anything we say have any stock in anybody's minds?
I mean, that's fair, but he's also gonna kind of jerk his head towards the Zetas and be like, you know, they have practitioners of magic as well.
Really? Do you sense it on them, or
It's like, well, it's pretty obvious what they were doing in that underground chamber we found.
that's fair? So, hearing that he doesn't want to help, I'm just gonna kindly see myself
Now,
out.
it's like if Edmund's going to the frat house, Zek's going to follow him to make sure he keeps his stupid ass out of trouble.
Is that your plan, Edmund, to try to surveil the house?
Well, I'm gonna wait till later because I guess it gave us a rough time when they were gonna do it. Like, oh, let's wait at night or something like that. Correct? Or
They
is
did
that
not
even
specify a time. It sounds like they've actually already talked about this before, and they're just clarifying the things that they've already said to each other. You get a definite sense of that.
right? But it's going down today, right? That's what I'm asking.
Like every day this week, can you believe it?
Okay, and then yes, I
I gotta
would.
have a nightlife.
So
If I
yeah,
can't just drink beer with the boys every night, what's even the point?
fair enough. Yeah, then I'm gonna wait till night to start doing my shit.
Alright, so you're gonna sort of chill out until night. And Zechariah, I assume you're just going to do about the same? Or what's your plan?
Yeah, it's like a little bit curious about what was up with Professor East, but then again, it's like aside from their little venture to the factory, he doesn't really know East that well. He hasn't really built up a sort of report with him where he could just kind of drop by and ask what's going on.
You already went to his house once.
That's true.
And you know he doesn't give a shit about his office hours either.
That's true.
And you know he's also still on campus.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not asking Zechariah to follow me. I'm just gonna chill out, maybe go to the library or just buy time.
Alright, so you're biding time until then, and
Mm-hmm.
Zechariah, are you going to bide time as well, or do you want to do the interaction? What's your choice?
Yeah, I'll go drop in on Professor East and just I'll sort of guise it as interest in his research about what they had talked about before.
You'll of course like approach him, and he's sort of just hanging out in the classroom because no one else is using it, and he
Mm-hmm.
does the same class basically the entire day.
Mm-hmm.
And when he sees you come in, he looks like he's pretending to grade papers, but he's signing off on them too fast for him to actually be grading. And he looks over at you and goes, "Oh, Zechariah, hi. Come
Evening.
back to see how you did on the exam, on the
Oh,
quiz."
well, I was interested in my grade, yes, but I was also just curious about the shoot, I'm not entirely sure how to word it. Sorry, speaking out of character here.
The research.
Yes, the research that he's doing.
Yes, the research. Well, I'm afraid I just haven't made much progress. I have so little of the stuff. I'm afraid to use any of it. If only I had more of it. I
Well,
went back to Willow Springs, actually, where I found it. Not a single flower left in that forest. It's not even like just the ones I was after were gone. It's like all the rest wilted and died in sympathy.
Zek's kind of shoot up his eyebrows here. sort of piecing two together. It's like the hunter was the creature was reliant on the hunter. So if the flowers are disappearing, maybe the hunter is already gone.
Uh, and indeed, though since there were 5 successes on that research,
Yeah.
from the fungal parasite, it basically lives throughout the entire ground of the area around Willow Springs.
Yeah, and if the
But it
flower if
but
the
it probably
flowers
shares
are
among itself.
yeah, and if the flowers are disappearing, then something's going on in Willow Springs.
So the question is, what are you going to say or tell him?
Well, he knows that Mr. Gray is working on the Vril extraction device, although I'm not sure if he really wants to reveal that.
Nicholas will just
Um,
sort of like sigh and turn to his chair. I just don't feel the same energy about this study as I did before, knowing others have already beaten me to the chase. They already have all the damn research. I haven't published it either. What's the point if I'm going to do it? They'll just undercut me immediately.
Zach is gonna
I'm years
kind of
behind and I haven't even begun.
Zach is gonna say, Zach is gonna just sort of offhandedly mention, "It's like, do you mean the Zetas?"
What do they have to do with anything?
More than you might think.
Uh, I always knew. I always knew Kent and his graduates always were part of the Zetas. Are you saying that maybe they're a little bit more intricately linked?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Interesting. Well, I don't suppose you happen to know if they know of anything.
Hmm. Shit. It's like it's like, do I reveal the knowledge or not? I think Zach is going to keep his mouth shut for now, just because I don't know. It's not. It's like he doesn't quite know East's intentions well enough to trust him with this quite yet.
He'll sort of just sigh again. Just put it from your mind. You have studies to get to anyway. And he'll, of course, slide your quiz back over to you.
Hmm.
And it has a 10 out of 10 score on it.
Well, well, that's reassuring. It's like I'm not failing my classes while also doing this private investigation.
I haven't forgotten.
And then he'll kind of flash the professor a little thumbs up, and I think he's going to go call Claudia and relay the information about the flowers and Willow Springs wilting, and see if maybe she knows anything about that.
Of course, and while Claudia is having a day on the town with Mr. Gray, you'll receive, of course, another message saying something to that effect. It's like, it appears a young gentleman wants to talk with you about flowers, Zechariah.
Oh, okay. I'll call Zachariah back at the number he left, see if I can reach him. Remember the
Yeah,
good old days of phone tag?
Oh
I
yeah.
know. That we I want to try abstracting it out as much as possible, but I still gotta mention it.
Yeah, well, Zach's probably milling around his dorm at the moment anyway, so he'll answer it and basically relay the information to Claudia and being like, if the flowers are wilting and they're connected to these creatures, what could that mean?
Well, I mean, I'm no scientist,
Hmm.
but the frat boys were locking the creatures up, weren't they?
They were, yeah, they were locking them in those stone coffins with the bodies of, I assume, people they kidnapped.
Right, and they were taking them out of, and they also have absconded with the hunter. So the flowers are probably wilted because they're probably starving the beast.
Yeah, that so if the beast is already starving, we might not need to do anything.
Well, we need to confirm that, and I'd be happier if we knew where the hunter was.
No, I agree. We definitely need to figure that out. I'm just an interesting thing to note. It's possible that part of this might resolve on its own.
Well, we had some help in it because we've, disturbed two of the things there. But I don't think anything involving the Zetas will resolve itself on its own.
Oh no, I definitely agree that we need to keep an eye on the Zetas. I'm just wondering, it's like, how connected are they to this beast?
Well, they have the hunter. We still don't know where the hunter is.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a rich fraternal organization. They could have sequestered the hunter outside of the city somewhere.
It's like the question is where. Oh, and it's like, oh, and just thought you might like to know a certain idiot reporter is planning to go back to the frat house tonight. Do you want me to tail him?
He already called me, and I reminded him that I wasn't invited to the event. I wasn't technically there when the hotel burned down. Well, the problem is, I don't think it's necessarily terrible to go back to the frat house. I think it would be in our best interest to make sure that the hunter's not there.
All right, I'll keep an eye on him. Hopefully he won't make a scene.
Because the only other thing I can think of is none of the Zetas are under criminal investigation. So, I really think that we might have to mount an expedition into that maze and look at down the Forbidden Passage. But I'm really worried it's just filled with horrible monsters that'll eat our face.
Oh yeah, no, it's like I am not eager about going into those caves again either. The more information we can gather about what's actually going on down there, the better.
Well, sounds good to me. No, I'm making sure Mr. Gray gets to relax instead of overworking himself.
That's probably for the best. I'm not quite sure I trust him when left to his own devices either.
It's
Somewhere in the
going to take
background, you hear Mr. Gray goes, is like, yeah, read him right here. 5 aces.
Oh, God.
I drew 3 of them myself.
Please, Savant. No wonder Osborne hated. No wonder Osborne was driven to drink. Yeah, let me know if you heard anything about Osborne either. But no, after my preparations are ready, I'm going to meet with Dante and see if he's feeling up to the challenge of storming the maze.
All right, I'm going to tail Edmund and make sure he's not getting himself into trouble.
Sounds good.
All
Thank
righty.
you for keeping me in the loop.
No problem. Good luck.
All right. So we have our Trakoga pair. And now we have James Green and Dante. Who would like to go first?
You pick.
All right. Eeny, meeny, miny. Dante, what are you up to?
I feel like Dante. When did we meet? When did we last meet? What, at the library or the university, wherever the hell we were? When was that?
It was the previous night. We were all at the Great House Estate.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We all left the Great House Estate in the morning or at night?
In the morning.
Okay.
Brand new day, Monday morning.
Alright, and I said I was heading to my loft. Well, I've probably walked I walked to my loft, and I, look up at the building with, wet fur under the eyes, and I walk to my theater instead.
Mm-hmm.
I walk into my theater, unlock the door, lock it behind me. I'm gonna go get, I'm sorry, it sounded
On the
like you were about to
ground,
say something.
yeah. On the ground, as you open the door, you see a note has been left. And it appears to be in a familiar handwriting from your tenant. And it says, a young lady at the Eastwood Municipal Library has a letter waiting for you.
Cool. I don't. I mean, I'll probably just put that on a table or something as I'm walking past.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm gonna go get some chalk.
Ah, you get some chalk.
All right, and then I clamber up to the theater, the stage. Sorry, my brain stopped working. And I am going to attempt the first circle ritual, circle of protection, as I display the book out in front of me.
Excellent. Okay, so, well, you know what dice you gotta roll for? It's mind, will, academics, and power. So, let's see it go. What circle was it? I think it's just a 1, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a third circle.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
it is.
hold on. I did not macro ritual, so I'm typing this one out. And then my power
That's
die.
fair enough. And I would assume you're trying to do it within a single scene.
There we go. Yep, that's 3 successes, so I've got that.
Congratulations. All right, so you take your time, you draw a circle of chart. You even draw it to a precise measurement around you in an almost perfect circle. And as you complete the ritual, it exists.
Right, and I kneeling in the very center of the circle. I imagine some sort of like elaborate outer edge to it. I am going to invoke spiritualism.
Very good. One, two.
I am going to use hold on, I don't remember which one I want. Spirit Shield or Spirit Ward. Spirit Shield. I'll put Spirit Shield on myself.
Okay, cool. You are now doubly protected from whatever you're about to do. The tension is rising in the lone theater. Even though it is perfectly silent, you can hear your heart beating.
Well, probably my face. As Claudia pointed out earlier, I've become pale. My face is more wet. The longer I go on, it's clear that I might not be crying, but the tear ducts they're letting loose. I'm gonna invoke spiritualism again.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to invoke Spirit Ward 1.
All right, so that sounds like you're doubly protected now.
Triply protected.
Triply protected.
All right, now I'm
Can't
gonna
have
invoke
enough.
spiritualism again.
1, 2, 3 this time.
Now I'm going to call spirits.
Excellent. So I am pulling that up right now.
If I can, I would like to try and call a specific spirit.
Of course, I believe you can.
Here, I'll just paste that in the chat, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Save me a little time. Attempt to speak with the spirit. If the spirit doesn't want to answer you, or if it wants to lie to you, must roll its mind will deceit. I think this just allows you to talk with it. It doesn't. Oh, you can invite the spirit to possess your body. I think this generally says if there's a spirit already present.
It's literally called call spirits. So I'm assuming I'm calling a spirit to me.
Okay, so you can attempt to call a spirit then.
Alright,
Who are you trying to call?
James Turpleton.
James Turpleton, your father, if I'm correct.
Dead father, yes.
All right. Well, you are within the city. You have 3 successes, and the theater goes quiet, and the lights slowly fade out. Their electric dimming before coming back on just to the faintest degree, and you can see, as if through a projected mirror, your father, dressed well, suit, hat, tie, and he's looking around curiously.
I mean, I imagine it's like a long period of silence if he doesn't break it, because it's a very weird scene, because I imagine he looks the age that he died, right?
That's so. In fact, he seems younger than you are now.
Well, he would very much be younger than I am, which
Yes.
is the strange sight, because I remember him with the eyes of a child. I was just a teenager. He died when I was 13, so I remember him as he is. But I've lived a life much longer than he lived. I am older than my dad.
Mm-hmm. And he'll slowly come to full senses and sort of awareness, and he'll look straight at you, and he'll just sort of whisper, Oliver.
I mean, it's like a moment of hard to talk. Like, I don't know what to call him. I don't know what to say. It's just like a squeak out of, Dad?
Oliver, I'm always here for you.
And I feel like with the sweep of an arm, I cut it off. I make it go away. It's too much.
And he fades away.
And I will collapse into my circle. All my protections not enough to protect me against my own emotional state.
Can't stop psychic damage.
Yeah, and I'll break down and I will cry, and that's my scene. I'm done.
That's perfectly fine. So we'll leave Dante in his little pity puddle and head over to James Green, who's heading to the library, and Wanda is following you. Well, I wanted to go to the library, and Dante said he had something to take care of, so you mind if I come with you? Pretty please? James? 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 James, please. EHH, are you there? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Doing the Baymax thing again.
Oh no.
We've been watching Big Hero 6 recently.
Right. So let's...
Sorry about that.
There we are. So Wanda is sort of following you to the library and going, okay, can I come with you? I like to go to the library again, and well, Dante says he's busy, and can I? Can I please? James?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. And she'll hop right into your car, or well, hop into the car in the driveway, and then look at you expectantly. It's not your car.
Okay. Okay.
Well, how are you getting there?
Taking a cab.
Oh, and she'll go, oh, okay. And you two will take a cab to the Eastwood Municipal Library. When you get there, you will see, of course, Emmett, as always, just at her counter. And today you actually see a new person. Going back over their name. You see a well-dressed fox in suit and coat, tie and hat. Hat, of course, at his side. He's not impolite. And they will all turn and look to you and give you a little wave.
Oh, I know who this is. See,
This is him, right? The Mr. James Green. Hi, I'm Dr. Fred Hoffman. It's a pleasure to meet you. And he'll reach out for your hand and give it a great big shake.
it's great to meet you too.
I read the report Emmett wrote, and I've just been talking with her about it. Sounds like you had quite an adventure a few weeks ago.
Yes.
Well, of course, let me go ahead and check my notes here. I was interested in seeing if you had that physical evidence you all mentioned. The remnants of the creature.
I did, but it was. I looked at the truck and now I can't have access to
You don't have access to it. Whatever happened?
it. Someone took the truck and we haven't heard back. And we haven't really heard back from them sick.
Huh. Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I don't suppose you'll end up hearing from them again, will you?
Unlikely.
Oh dear. That's a shame I came all this way. Well, I am going to stay the week here anyway. There's plenty of other things to do. It's a shame you don't have that. That would have been fantastic evidence. Would have been almost irrefutable if we could examine that. But such as it is in this business, sometimes cryptid just slips through your fingers. Still, it's definitely a pleasure to see you in person. Emmett has actually been working on a list of various cryptids in the area, and I'm going to be looking for them over the coming weeks. I would definitely appreciate it if I could have your help in the future.
I'd be glad to.
Wonderful. I definitely look forward to working with you. And of course, we could talk maybe a little bit more business over lunch if you'd like as well.
That would be.
He'll nod and he'll give you another shake and give you a place to go and eat together later. And he's going to go ahead and take his leave for the moment, leaving you with Emmett. And Emmett is going to look up at you and go, "Oh, James, you haven't seen Dante lately, have you? I keep trying to call his loft, his address, but it keeps getting just an old lady who keeps taking messages."
Yes, I've seen him.
Oh, well, that's good. I have a letter here for him, and I was hoping maybe I could give it to him, but could you do that for me?
Okay.
I just can't leave the library during open hours at all. But you're friends with him. I'm sure it'll get into his hands.
Yeah, I'll be sure to give it to him as soon as I see him.
Thanks. Thank you so much. It's really important to try to get to him as soon as possible, so I know what to do with Timothy.
Does the name sound familiar?
Actually, were you around even to see Timothy?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you may not have actually seen Timothy at all.
Timothy?
Actually, no, didn't you go to Martin's apartment at one point? Or yeah, no, you went up the stairwell too, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you do kind of recognize Timothy a little bit.
Oh yeah, him.
Yeah, Martin's going to be very busy, but he says this has Dante might be really interested in this. I'm going to be looking after Timothy for a few weeks, and I'd like to have him off my hands at least for a little bit. He's somewhere in the library right now, I think. I can only imagine the mess he's making. Well,
Uh.
well, and how's everything else been going with all of you?
It's
Anything
been.
fun and interesting?
You might say that.
Oh, come on, don't just keep it up. Keep it all in. We had Dr. Fred here. Oh, I'm sorry,
I'm not.
Dr. Hoffman.
I'm not sure what to tell her.
Well, if you don't want to say, I'm sure you're just in the middle of investigating it, right?
Of course, of course.
Well, I'm sure you can tell me all about it once you have everything then.
I'll try.
Okay. So it sounds like what are you interested in doing, James? Just going to go and talk with this guy right now?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay. So you'll go out and basically have lunch with the good doctor, and he's definitely a very well-versed paranormal investigator. Um, is there anything you would like to know, or anything you'd like to ask, or would you just like to have a good meal with him?
Just to have a good meal with him.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and change the scenes. And I suppose we'll go ahead and move on towards evening then, since that seems to be where we're heading, or at least towards afternoon. About this time, Mr. Gray is looking like he's feeling a lot better. He's very happy, but is also incredibly tired, and may very well just go to sleep the first chance he gets. Claudia, what do you intend to do? Summon everyone up for a meeting? What's your plan?
Well, I guess now that I've made so after I took Mr. Gray out for the day, am I convinced he's crazy, or do I think I